If you've ever believed in the American dream of hoop dreams turning into champagne showers, today's story is the cold splash of reality you need to hear. We're ripping open how bad was former high school phenom Sebastian Telfair, the Brooklyn kid who lit up the world at Abraham Lincoln High, graced slam covers with LeBron James, and got drafted 13th overall straight out of high school in 2004, only to spiral into a decade of journeyman mediocrity, overseas scraps, legal nightmares, and a bust label that still haunts him today. This isn't just a cautionary tale, it's a full-on indictment of the prep-to-pro pipeline that chews up prodigies and spits out cliches. Telfair was supposed to be the next Stephon Marbury, his cousin, mind you, or better. Instead, he became the poster child for hype gone horribly wrong. We're going from the mountaintop all the way down to the basement. Was Sebastian Telfair screwed up by the machine, or did he fumble the bag himself? No sugarcoating, no excuses, just the truth. This one hurts, and it's supposed to. Let's get into it. To get why this bust cuts so deep, we gotta rewind to where the magic sparked, the concrete courts of Surfside Gardens projects in Coney Island, Brooklyn. Sebastian Telfair wasn't born with a silver spoon. He was forged in the fire of streetball survival, son of a Vietnam vet dad and a mom scraping by in the projects. By freshman year at Abraham Lincoln High, he was already a blur, quick as a switchblade, handles that danced like they had minds of their own, and a jumper that splashed from anywhere inside the arc. As a sophomore, he averaged 29 points, 7 assists, and 3 steals per game, turning Lincoln into a national spectacle. Junior year, 28.7 points, 8.6 assists per game, leading the Rail Splitters to a 30-2 record and the PSAL City Championship. But senior year, 2003-04, that's when Bassy became a legend. 33.2 points and 9.2 assists a game. McDonald's All-American, New York State Mr. Basketball, Parade All-American. Career totals, 2,785 points, the highest in New York State history at the time. His squad went 109-6 over 3 years, with wins over Oak Hill Academy that had ESPN crews swarming like it was the NBA Finals. Stars like Jay-Z, Diddy, and Derek Jeter packed the gym for his games. The documentary Through the Fire drops mid-season, chronicling his life. Rick Pitino calls him the best point guard I'd ever coach at Louisville, where Bassy verbally commits to. Scouts rave, 5-star recruit, ranked as the number 2 point guard and number 6 overall player in the nation in 2004. Slam puts him on the cover with King James, The Takeover, about to rule the world. Adidas inks a sneaker deal worth millions before he even laces college kicks. Then, real life hits him square in the face. Spring 2004, a close neighbor gets murdered in the projects, literally steps from Bassy's door. He's 18, shaken, suddenly staring at how fast it can all end. College starts feeling like a detour he can't afford to take, so he declares for the draft instead. Portland falls in love, trades up from 18 to 13 because GM John Nash is convinced he's getting a floor general with unlimited upside. Rookie deal, $11.6 million guaranteed. Brooklyn shuts down the block for a parade. Coney Island is buzzing like the Knicks just won the chip. Everyone's holding their breath, thinking this is the crowning achievement we've all been waiting for. Fast forward to Summer League 2004, and the shine's already flickering. Bassy drops 18 points and 7 assists in his debut, but turnovers pile up. 5 in 28 minutes. Whispers start. Raw, needs seasoning. His professional debut kicks off on November 5th against the Clippers. 0 points and 1 assist in 1 minute and 24 seconds. Portland's backcourt, a mess. Damon Stoudemire aging out, Sharif Abdur-Rahim traded mid-season. Telfair starts 26 games, averaging 6.8 points, 3.3 assists on 39% shooting and 25% from 3. Highlights? Sure, a 23-point explosion versus Charlotte on February 4th. He had 3 double-doubles during the season, but the lowlights dominate. Turnovers and erratic plays were an issue. He was benched after a 7-turnover disaster in March against Denver. Blazers finished 27-55, good for 13th in the West. ESPN's Chad Ford says, Telfair's flash is there, but the decision-making screams high school. Off the court that rookie year, Bassy was clean. No drama, no tabloids, still doing community work in Brooklyn. The problem was strictly between the lines, and it showed up fast. Just look at who came out of that 2004 draft with him. Luol Deng became a two-time All-Star, Al Jefferson turned into a legit 20-10 monster for a decade, even Jameer Nelson became an All-Star and ended up starting on a championship team. Meanwhile, before Bassy even finishes his second season, Portland's already shopping him. Summer 2005 rolls around and they ship him to Boston for Raef LaFrentz and a pick. 1 year in, $4.1 million salary on the books, and he's gone. That's how quickly the bust tag got slapped on him. Year 3 in Boston under Doc Rivers, hope reignites, paired with Paul Pierce, Al Jefferson, and the White Mamba himself, Brian Scalabrine. Telfair's logging real minutes in 78 games, putting up 6.1 points and 2.8 assists. He even has a legit whoa night. November 4th against DC, 24 points on 8 of 12 shooting, 6 assists, and 4 boards. You watch the highlights and think, okay, there's the Lincoln kid. But zoom out and the picture's ugly. 37% from the field, 29% from 3, and the Celtics finished 24-58, dead last in the East. Even rookie Rajon Rondo put up higher points and assist totals than him, with significantly better shooting efficiency. Old school forums light him up. Handles are nasty, but he's still playing Lincoln High hero ball. No off-ball movement, no real reads. By July 2006, he's gone again. Part of the undercard in the massive Kevin Garnett trade to Boston. Lands in Minnesota, and it seems fine. 9.3 points, 5.9 assists in 60 games, 40% shooting. Shows a flash of defense, but after year 2, he's off to the Clippers, never averaging over 10 points per game with the T-Wolves. 6 years in the league with 4 different teams, the next big thing label is officially in the rearview mirror. By now, it's impossible to ignore the real sting. Sebastian Telfair didn't just get overhyped, he became the poster child for why the prep to pro era imploded. 2005 rolls around and 2 things drop that basically predict the whole story. Ian O'Connor's book The Jump tears the curtain off the AAU vultures, sneaker money, and project pressure that turned teenagers into instant millionaires. Then the documentary Through the Fire wins Sundance while quietly screaming, "One wrong turn and it's over." Fast forward a few years and Reddit's already doing the autopsy. What happened to Telfair? Top answer: skipped college, no polish, 6'0" in a league that switched everything, plus Brooklyn ego that never adjusted. And in 2025, after someone rewatches the documentary, I can't believe he went from a basketball phenom to living back in the projects. $19 million to nothing. Same verdict, 20 years apart. That's how deep the scar runs. Podcasts and news outlets have been ripping this one open for years, and they all land in the same spot. Bill Simmons, right after Telfair's 2019 gun arrest, summed it up perfectly. Bassy was the canary in the coal mine for high school kids. Everyone saw the talent and ignored how raw he was. 564 games, 7.4 points a night. That's not a bust, that's a tragedy. Bleacher Report already had the headline ready in 2009. The story of a bust. ESPN called him one of the biggest phenom flops. Sports Illustrated reflects on what could have been, and 20 years later, the full circle gut punch hits. From NYC phenom to NBA bust. From Slam magazine covers to back in the Coney Island projects. Right where it all began. Everyone agrees on the tools. Lightning speed, great vision, zero fear. Everyone also agrees the league's meat grinder found every crack and widened them. That's the part that still stings. The numbers are brutal, but they don't lie. 10 seasons, 8 teams, 7.4 points, 3.5 assists, 39% from the field, 31.9% from 3. Advanced stats, 0.008 win shares per 48 at his lowest, player efficiency rating of just 10.8, waived by Cleveland after only 4 games, a D-League stint where he looked like a star again, then right back to the end of someone's bench. Phoenix, Cleveland, Toronto, a final cup of coffee in OKC in 2014-15, waived mid-season after averaging 8.4 points and 2.8 assists per game. Career over at 29. Off the court, it got darker. signed a $19 million Adidas deal as a high schooler, made another $20 million total in the league. Then, 2019, pulled over in Brooklyn with loaded guns and 100 oxycodone pills. Convicted on the firearm charge, sentenced to 3.5 years, but got out early in 2020 on an appeal. In a recent Vlad TV sit-down, he finally said it himself. "I was 17 making grown man decisions. The murder next door scared me straight to the league. No regrets, but 1 year of college would have changed everything." Rick Pitino agrees, saying, "1 season at Louisville and he's all ACC, top 5 pick, totally different career." That's the knife twist. The talent was real. The timing, the fit, the maturity, none of it lined up. And once it went sideways, it never stopped sliding. Here's the part that still makes my blood boil. The NBA literally changed the rules because of guys like Telfair. They slapped the one and done age limit in place right after the 2005 draft, and Bassy became the cautionary tale everyone pointed to. Yeah, LeBron worked out, but for every LeBron, there's a Darko, a Kwame, a Darius Miles, and Milicic, and Sebastian Telfair sitting right at the top of that list. The system chewed him up. Portland was rebuilding with zero patience. Every trade yanked him to a new playbook, and a 6-foot flat in an era that suddenly wanted longer point guards meant he got hunted every night. Throw in a little Brooklyn streetball ego, flair over fundamentals, and it's a perfect storm. But let's be real, the adults failed him the hardest. AAU handlers, sneaker companies, agents, all of them whispering millionaire at 18 while pushing him out the door before he could even shave consistently. So how bad did it really get? Catastrophic. He went 13th in that loaded 2004 draft, behind Andre Iguodala and ahead of JR and Josh Smith, and 10 years later, he never once made a real impact in the league. Made about $40 million in total, but fast forward to 2025, and he's right back to living in these same Coney Island projects he grew up in. That's not just a fall from grace, that's the whole staircase collapsing. Bottom line, the talent, the bloodline, the bounce, it was all there. 1 year of college reps, and he's probably a 15-8 starter somewhere. Instead, he became the face of hype's ugly downside, the biggest high school to pro bust of his generation, maybe ever. We just went from those wild 40-point nights at Lincoln High and Coney Island block parties to a career average of 7.4 points and a federal courtroom. And look, this isn't just another bust label you slap on and move past. This is the NBA staring at itself in the mirror and admitting what happens when you hand a teenager millions and a spotlight before he's anywhere close to ready. The talent was legit, the hype was earned, but there was no foundation under any of it, so the whole thing collapsed. His fire's quieter now, no doubt, but it's still flickering. He's out there coaching kids in Brooklyn, telling them exactly what to do and what not to do. And honestly, that might be the most valuable thing he ever gives the game. So now I need to hear from you. Was Bassy mostly screwed by the prep to pro machine, or did he fumble it himself? Biggest high school what if ever, or just the most overhyped kid of the era? Drop your take in the comments. If this one hit you in the chest, smash that like button, subscribe for more breakdowns, and turn the bell on. We've got plenty more ghosts to chase. See you in the next one.